for Dennis Gaxiola.
One more time for Shae. Shae Suga. I'm sorry, Mama. She was telling us stories about her daddy remembering when she was created. I looked at my wife sitting back there and I named the elder from our church and said, that would be like talking about Mama Nixon. My wife was like, what? How's everybody doing? Happy birthday. Where's the other birthday? Is you happy birthday? Happy birthday, Shae. I recently turned 40, 10 years ago. I wrote that joke 10 years ago. Yeah, I hit 60. I hit 60, yeah. This is duct tape and shoe polish. That's all this is right here. I'm holding it together. It's good to be here. I love, let's just keep it real, okay? I'm at home right now. You know, I know when I'm with God's children, okay? And I don't, last night was mostly white folks. You know, I got blessed. I got to do Kojik's National Bishops Banquet. They have me. Last year, that was on Friday night. Saturday night, I was on Huckabee. That's as white as you get. And now I'm here. It's good, yo. If you were ever wondering, have I ever got hit on, not sexually, but hit on at Home Depot? Yes, it's happened. I'm just walking in front of Home Depot and they're like, how much to cut my grass? Then I wore this outfit when someone tried to order nachos from me. It's not easy to be Mexican. I believe we are equal, but I believe we are different. I don't buy into the hype, oh, we're all the same. That denies God's creation. You look how we define miracles. Each ethnic group got a different miracle. White miracles usually because they were messing with nature. You see it on the news. They were cross-country skiing and got caught in an avalanche, barely made it out. Miracle. That's a white miracle. Jose and Leroy are never going to be in the mountain when it's snowing. White miracle different than a Mexican miracle. Mexican miracle is more like, she's not pregnant. Mexican miracle different than Chinese miracle, Asian miracle. Asian miracle is more like, today I drive to work, no one honked at me. Black miracle, a little more special. There's two types. I'm going to do the joke, all right? There's two black miracles. The first one is, I can't believe the judge dropped my charges. A miracle. The other one's even at another level. You see it on a Sunday morning when it's time to testify. They was about to cut my lights out. The Lord told me to play my numbers. Did you know what John 3:16 hit? I was in the Air Force for 20 years, so I got friends from all across the country. I got friends of every walk of life. So I love having a group of people. Latino, black, white, Asian, they're all, I got brothers from all across the country, but I acknowledge that we're different. You know, we have same views on certain things, but I love, one of my best friends now, these years later, 1988, I became a supervisor in the Air Force. Jeff was from Tennessee. He lived in a small town in Tennessee. He had never met a Mexican. He admitted that to me. We were stationed in Sacramento. He said, "You're the first Mexican I ever met." Now, that sounds crazy in California. This is 1988. He's from Tennessee. We had not made it to Tennessee yet. We were stuck in Oklahoma. That's as far as Mexicans had got. When Jeff told me that he had never met a Mexican, my Latino pride came out. I said, I'm going to show you our food, because he had never had Mexican food. And I believe food heals us. If you don't know another culture, have their food. You'll get to realize we're not that different. Menudo, that's nothing but gumbo. with some different stuff, but yeah, the chitlins, that's right. Chitlins are in menudo. Yeah, and I don't eat, that's why I eat pozole. It don't have the chitlins. We ain't that poor anymore, that's all I'm saying. But I took Jeff to lunch. We got to the restaurant, and I'm bragging when I'm driving to lunch. I took him to a taqueria in Sacramento. Like, we're deep, we're diverse, we're beautiful people. We get to the taqueria, and Jeff looks at the menu, he goes, "What's a taco?" I said, "You never had a taco." Because I've had none of this. I called CPS. I reported his parents. And I explained to him, a taco is a tortilla filled with meat and cheese and some salsa. That's a good taco. He said, "Wow, what's an enchilada?" I said, "Well, that's way different." I said, "Tortilla filled with meat and cheese. And sauce is on the outside." He goes, "What's a burrito?" I said, "Oh, that's way different, man." I said, "Big tortilla filled with meat and cheese." We're diverse. I get my political views from my grandfather. He was a pastor in East Oakland. I went to Grandpa one day. He's from Torreon, Mexico. I went to him and said, "Grandpa, what do you think about a woman's right to choose?" He said, "Mijo, everyone should wear shoes." Now, I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican. I don't speak Spanish. Not all Latinos speak Spanish. Right? I grew up in Berkeley. But in high school at Berkeley High, my Spanish teacher, my freshman year, changed my name. He did not like the fact that my name was Dennis. He said, "There are no Mexicans named Dennis. From now on, you are Benito." That whole year, if I answered to Benito, he would look right at me, absent. He was one of those people that hated on his own people. You know, somebody like that, they're harder on their own. There was points. You got certain points for your homework and your test, and that was your grade. You knew what you were getting. I had enough points for a B. All these 40 years later, I still remember, I had enough points for a B. This dude gave me a C minus. I said, "Mr. Martinez, I got enough points for a B. Why did I get a C minus?" He said, "You're Mexican. You should have did better." I said, "Well, I'm an American. You should have known better." So I called immigration and he got deported. I'm like, "Bye, Felipe." My dad was a preacher. He was a cool preacher because he grew up in West Oakland. He was a thug. He went from being a thug to being a boxer, from being a boxer to being a preacher. It was in the boxing ring that he saw the light. He said, "I'm getting whooped. Help me, Lord." With that boxing background, you never have to worry about my dad preaching too long. If he ever preached too long, we would just ring a bell, ding, and he gonna sit down there and go. That preaching dad and that praying mom, nothing better than mom that prays for you. My mom would pray for things I didn't even want. My wife's with me. We've been married 8 years, but we got married when we were teenagers. She was 19, I was 20. We got married. 7 years later, we divorced. And look at God. 23 years later, we're back together. And I had moved on, and my mom said, "You're going to get Lorna back." And I was like, don't be talking about this. I'm praying. All these years later, Mama's prayer came true. My wife's not happy about it, but, you know. People think if you're in a preacher's house, everything's perfect. No, my mom and dad get into arguments. My dad didn't want to let the streets come out. One day, my mom getting on my dad's case. We were going fishing early in the morning, me, my brother, and my dad. 6 o'clock in the morning, we're leaving our house, and my mom wakes up, starts getting on my dad's case about getting some chores done first. My dad, whenever he got upset, he would just throw out a scripture or a biblical principle. He looked at her and said, "Ye without sin cast the first stone." That's a wrong thing to say to a half Mexican, half Puerto Rican woman who hasn't had her coffee or her eyebrows on. Because there was nothing there. She was like a rattlesnake without a rattle, because he didn't see when the eyebrows went up. He said, "Ye without sin cast the first stone." She said, "Jesus is my rock. I'm sanctified." And busted him upside the head. When you get mad, you just threw out another principle. He said, 7 times 70, I forgive you. That one stumped my mom. So she said the first thing that came to her mind, she said, "Well, until you do right." That's not a scripture. That's from the Color Purple. My mom was friends with Shae's mom. My mom's student. They went to the same church together. So my mom passed 11 years. It's been 11 years already. But now we just keep going. And my mom saw me the first time. My mom, because she grew up Pentecostal. She never went to a nightclub. She never went to the first movie my mom saw, because she never went when she was a kid. She went to see Passion of the Christ. How many people saw Passion of the Christ? Okay, some of you didn't see it. I don't want to ruin the ending. He don't make it. 3 days later, sequel. We took my mom to see Passion of the Christ, and we got kicked out of the theater. Through the whole movie, my mom was screaming, "Run, Jesus, run!" One thing I've learned about doing comedy all across the country is that I do different events. I love multicultural events. That's my thing right there. Like last night, it was mostly white, but there's a lot of Latino, some Black, some Asian. Modesto was mostly white and Latino. But I love multicultural, because I tell people, if you're not comfortable in a multicultural church, don't worry about heaven. You're not going. How you going to not like some of his children and think you're going to the party? We're all going to be around his throne one day speaking Spanish. It's going to be beautiful. Come on, he named his son Jesus. That was in the book. Look at that, right? He didn't name him Jeffrey. He didn't name him Jamil. He named him Jesus. Well, there's a lot of Mexicans in the Bible. They don't teach this most Sundays. You got to read between the lines. Moses, very Mexican. Who else get a bunch of people across the water to the promised land? Come on, somebody, that's my people. We are not illegal, we are traditionalists. King David and Goliath thing, Mexican. Only a 5-foot Mexican can look at a 9-foot giant and go, "I could take him." Abraham, Mexican. Come on, he was 100 when his wife got pregnant. Come on, somebody. That's in the Bible. I didn't make that up, all right? That's it. Noah was not Mexican. Some people think Noah, people come up to you, "Oh, this person could have been Mexican." No, Noah was not Mexican. Taking care of animals and giving them the love and nutrition that they deserve, that's a gift the Lord gave to all white brothers and sisters. No one takes care of animals better than white folks, all right? A white woman can find a stray pit bull in the morning. By that night, their daughter's had a bath, 3 meals, and he's in their bedroom. You're okay, Freddie. Noah had been Mexican. That story would have ended tragically. The flood ends. Ark opens up, the ark opens and Noah steps off with some leather boots. The Lord is like, Noah, where are the cows? Would you like a taco? I definitely think the kids of today are too soft. I was born in the 60s, but raised in the 70s and 80s. That's the greatest generation to me of all time, because our music is tied to Motown, into Earth, Wind, and Fire, and all the kids' music today, they sample our music. I'm not bragging, but Earth, Wind, and Fire was my favorite group of all time. They still are. I've been blessed to open for them 4 times now. And let's talk about it. And they paid me. I would have paid them to let me perform with them. No, I'm not gonna go there. No, my daughter thinks everything I say is racist. Man, the 70s and 80s, we can still crack on each other and not get offended. By today's standards, not back then, but by today's standards, I got called an ethnic slur every day from junior high through high school. It wasn't about a white guy, it was about a good family friend who happened to be black. My brother and I would walk to school. We passed Kenny Washington's house. Kenny would come out and join us, but as he joined us, he would call me Taco. And my brother Sauce. That joke never got old to Kenny. What's up, Taco? What's up, Sauce? Taco Sauce. And we would walk to school together laughing. If that happened today, CNN would fly in a reporter. We're here with Benito. Benito got hurt by words. We grew up, I grew up doing the dozens. That's when I know whatever's wrong with you in Latino and black families, that's your nickname. I was the head man growing up. This was the size of my head when I was 2 years old. They took me to the front of the church and prayed for me. They thought I was a waterhead baby because my head was so big. When they x-rayed me, the doctor said, nope, you just got a big head. My mom was the oldest of 9. Her younger siblings were like our uncles and aunts, but they were our friends too, because they weren't that much older. They all clowned on me. They called me the head man. I hated Jack in the Box. That's all I'm saying. Growing up, I hated Jack in the Box. Every time a Jack in the Box commercial came on, my whole family was, there's your real dad. I'm like, you're my real dad, Dad. I got kids at home still. I'm too old for this. I got one that might not make it. No, he's healthy, but he's on my last nerve. Anybody got kids on their last? I ever had to deal with a teenager that... He's smarter than me, and that doesn't bother me. But the fact that he acts like I don't know he's smarter than me, I feel like I'm getting punked in my own house. He thinks he has more street cred than me. That's what bothers me. He grew up in a middle-class neighborhood. I took care of him. I grew up in Berkeley and Oakland. I'm a Desert Storm combat veteran. I've been shot at. Not in Desert Storm, in Oakland. I've been shot. It's always subtle. Early December, I'm sitting at my computer, just doing some writing. I'm looking at email, just goofing off, nothing important. And my son comes into my room and pretends to be humble. Approaches me with a little piece of paper in his hand. He goes, Dad, this is all I want for Christmas. All emotional. I took that little piece of paper, when I unfolded it, it was a full sheet of paper. Letter size with 10 video games. Those are $70 a piece. I reached over and got his report card, and I folded it as small as I could and said, you should read this. The boy had a D in English. That's the only language he speaks. I said, how did you almost flunk talking? 5 boys, 1 girl. I don't know how to deal with girls. What's the right age to let a young lady date in this crazy world? Who said 40? That's a deacon right there. Who said 40? Put him on the board. told my daughter 33. I said, Jesus never went on a date. You outlived the Lord. You can go on a date. She went to college. The pandemic hit. They sent her home, and one of her high school friends was upgraded to boyfriend. And what freaking me out is I liked him. I just never wanted a young man to get close to my daughter until she finished her education. That's why I wanted to be a priority. But I like this dude. The only problem is I can't remember his name. He's got the most hardcore Latino name I've ever heard. His family's from Peru. And the only way I can remember this Peruvian young man's name is to think of a Japanese tourist saying hello in English. Jairo. That's the boy's name, Jairo, Jairo. Every time he comes to my door, I have to do that. Japanese tourist, Jairo. He messed up. He admitted to her that he cheated, so she said goodbye. Jairo. Year went by, she got a new boyfriend now. It was a trip. I got to baptize this young man at a young adult camp. I'm a minister besides being a comedian, and I helped baptize this young man. And then a few months later, he met my daughter, and they're dating now. And I was like, young man, if I'd known you were going to fall for my daughter, I would have held you under the water a little longer. Okay, they can turn the light off now. I see it. I'm not done though. We got a couple more stories. I almost died. Anybody almost died? Yeah, what happened?
I had pulmonary embolism in both lungs.
Wow. Look at God. Look at God.
8 years, 9 years later.
I almost had a heart attack. It was gas. And anybody ever had gas caught up in the ribs? You know what I'm talking about. I mean, you, thank God you made it, but every time I took a breath, it hurt. And I told my wife, I said, babe, every time I breathe, it hurts. She didn't even call 911. She said, let's roll. I live in a little town called El Sobrante, California, which is Spanish for East Richmond. They remember East Richmond right there, right? They want to act like it's all bougie. Right across the street, I see the sign, welcome to Richmond. We took off. My wife's driving. I can't name the hospital we headed to because of liability, but everything they do is permanente. So when them jokers mess up, oops, that's permanente. My wife's driving like she's an ambulance driver. We do not have a siren. She's running red lights, and I'm getting more stressed out. So I try to distract myself. I got my phone. I started messing with my phone because my text, it was a new phone, and my text notification, the sound was bamboo. Anybody remember bamboo on their phone? That's what it sounds like. Which will drive you crazy in public because if somebody smacks their lips, you think you have a text message. Especially if you're in public and like at Buffalo Wild Wings and everybody's smacking their lips. You think you're in a group text notification. I love Jesus. I don't like churchy people. You know, I love people that love on people and tell them about Jesus. But I did the most churchy thing I've ever done. I went from bamboo to Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest is trumpets. I said, praise the Lord, I'm going with trumpets. My voice is jacked right now. I can't even hit the trumpet. We get to the ER. They don't let my wife in because of COVID. But as soon as I said chest pains, they put me in the wheelchair, took me in, put me on the gurney, did the EKG, and my heart rate was really high because how my wife was driving. So they gave me some medicine to calm me down, and I fell asleep thinking I'm having a heart attack. And after about an hour, my poor wife sitting in the parking lot sent a text to check on me. So I'm in there for an hour thinking I'm having a heart attack, and my wife sends a text. And I hear, exactly, I hear, boop, boop. Oh no, I didn't make it. Open my eyes, there's 2 Filipino nurses there. I said, heaven is in Manila. I'm not afraid to die, though. I think heaven is going to be beautiful. I think we shortchange heaven. Yes, we're going to worship. Yes, there's going to be mansions and streets of gold. But I think what I'm excited about, this just hit me recently, that we get to see the people in the Bible that serve God. And I got jokes for them. I'm going to walk up to Adam. How do you like them apples? Go up to Moses, give him a map. These jokes work better if you read your Bible. He was lost for 40 years. I'm going to go up to King David. Go, what's up, player? Cheated on his wife. If I have to explain these jokes, we won't be here till tomorrow. I want to see the man with the crippled hand and give him a high five. Go like this to the blind man, they got healed. Go to the great banquet, ask Lot to pass the salt. If he gets mad, I'll be like, hey, don't get salty. I'll go downtown heaven. If there's a throne, the streets of gold, and there's mansions, they got to go somewhere downtown. All the businesses that have Christian things. Abraham's Daycare Center. Jonah's Whale Tours. Noah's Pet Store, buy one, get one free. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego Barbecue. They was in the furnace. That's why that's funny. Or see my mom and dad go, surprise, made it. But when I see my Lord and Savior Jesus, I don't think I'll be able to talk. But I'm going to say thank you because he's been so good to me. It's an honor to be here. And yes, I came because you were going to be here. When Shae said you were going to be here, she said, how much do you need? I said, nothing. Mom's going to be there, I'll be there. And I said, I did 6 events yesterday and I lost my voice. I couldn't talk this morning, so I'm drinking tea. This is not whiskey. Don't start going over this. But I got another concert fundraiser tonight in Lodi at a church. But this was important when Shae called. And I take it as an honor when someone calls, are you available? Because the gifts were given, whether it's in entertainment, ministry, service, whatever it is, you were given a gift that God trusted you with. Use it for his glory, and you will be blessed beyond measure. God bless each and every one of you.